All right, good morning. Good morning. It is snowing outside, at least in many spots on this wave alert day. Hello, everyone. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to a special edition here of SnowTALK because it's snowing. Don't get it too often where I'm actually doing this and actually is doing what it needs to do, right? So a lot to cover today, as you might imagine. A lot of it's going to be in the short term and breaking down a little more these snow showers out there now. What's the game plan with the batch of snow for tonight? And we'll look at Monday's week system, the one for Thanksgiving and the one right after. There's a lot to cover, and it is, as what it looks to be, a December to remember. Don't you love that pun? I love saying that. All right, but it is going to be pretty wild, looks like, the next few weeks. Okay, let's start with the snowboard. First off, outside. Now, I apologize. I don't have the double boxes today, so you're going to be looking at graphics much of the time instead of me. Oh, I know. That breaks your heart. Okay, so here are the snow showers we're talking about today and tonight. Of course, that's on the scale. Then we've got the rain or snow or storms as you head toward Thanksgiving. Yeah, we'll talk about that. And still thinking that the setup between 3rd and 5th of December is quite interesting when it comes to the potential for some more wintry weather. Okay, there we go. This is a live look into Starlight, Indiana at Huber's Orchard and Winery. This is where we've got some snow showers have been heavy at times coming through. I mean, big flakes flying through. If you look carefully, you can even see some of the cars there have got some of the snow on the windshield. This is a light coating of snow on the grassy areas, but the roads, as you can see there, are just wet. And this is much lighter than what it is. And that's the thing. As soon as these lighten up, you will get much more of a setup featuring just wet roads when that happens. You're not going to get a lot of snow-covered roads, that kind of ordeal. Ground temps are warm, as you're about to see, and the snow rate is the key today. All right, as long as it's snowing moderate to heavy, it can start sticking because the flakes don't have enough time to melt, so they're still sticky. So they just stick to one another, and then eventually they become visible, and you see the piling up or the accumulation start. But as soon as it stops or slows down, then the melting process becomes faster than the falling process and the sticking. So you end up losing that ground cover that you just got just seconds before. And that's exactly what's happened there in Starlight, because it was starting to cover up and then it just melted away as soon as it eased back down again. You're going to see a lot of that for the area today. All right, temperature is the other thing. Obviously, with this being a cold setup, you can see some spots close to the freezing mark or at it. Seymour, Bedford, Madison, LaGrange. Louisville is at 38. Now, we have dropped a tad, and I think we will as we get more of this mix rolling through. I'll show you in the radar. But even just having light rainfall in this type of atmosphere cools the thermometer down. So eventually anything that is liquid will go over to something frozen fairly quick. Just because it is so cold above our head, we just need to get it down a little bit lower to the tree line. Southern Kentucky, you see yours basically sitting into the lower 40s in many cases. That wind is strong, though, 33 miles per hour. Woo, 33 miles per hour. All right, so what does that mean when you factor in the current temperature? Well, it feels like 28 degrees outside, 26 in Jeffersonville. And look at LaGrange. $21 degrees. Cincinnati, not much better at 19. Yikes. I hope you have your winter coat ready to go if you have not stepped outside yet. Because it's just going to be a smack in the face. You know, when we get these below zero wind chills, we'll be even more upset. But the first 20-degree wind chills, no doubt, it gets your attention. All right, let's get to what you want to see, the radar. Here we go. The showers moving in. On the southern side, this has likely got raindrops with it. And then you get into rain, more of a snow, sleet type of mixture. And at times it's flat out snow or sleet combination into Indiana. A lot of reports have been coming in on the mixed type of setup, and I'll show you that in just a second. First off, let's get into Breckinridge County. This is where we've got at least a changeover here showing some decent flakes. If you're in Hardinsburg, let me know. There's a lot of you in here, so I'll try to look for the comments. But you can see around Hardinsburg, that's where you got a little burst of snow. Right now into the Louisville area, well, it just now has moved into the city, into the core of the counties here. So it's probably a mix of snowflakes and sleet across the area, especially right there along, what is that, Beulah Church Road, perhaps Beulah Church Road into Highview, Gene Snyder Freeway, Fern Creek, not far from Waterford Road to Keen's Church. You likely got a nice little snow shower there. Same into Crestwood, heading toward 155 out of Shelby County there. You may run right into that batch of snow on 64. And it's moving through the knobs again, although it's much lighter than we had earlier that came through. When you look at the snow reports from NPEAN, you can see several, what you're looking for are the blue icons. That's the indicator of all snow. When you get into the ones that are split half and half, they look like Pac-Man kind of pieces there. That's when you get in some sleet that's being reported, mixed in, or even raindrops mixed in too. So some cases it's not entirely snowflakes in the metro. It's not shocking just because we do have a bit of a bubble over us. But to get snow reports within the city, and on my way in, it was snowing lightly, but it was snowing. So I know the area is cold enough to support snow in 90% of the cases here. So I'm not concerned about this going to rain today. It's going to be going to snow, if anything, and staying that way. But it's most cases, it will be light. Pavement temperatures still running warm. Right now, you get into, say, portions of downtown, 41 degrees. Pavement temperature there. It got into, say, Harrison County, Indiana, 39 degrees pavement temperature. Any roadway that's got dirt under it is likely going to help in the melting process. But if you have a bridge or a road that is elevated, even a interstate ramp, it does not have the dirt under it, and it can then cool to what the actual air temperature is outside, and therefore you can get some spots close to the freezing mark, and that's where you get that light accumulation or even some slush. This is not really an icy roads kind of scenario. If you get snow that sticks to the roads, it's going to be more of a slushy kind of setup instead of ice. So that's the biggest difference in a setup like this versus January. When you have cold air that locks in, you just don't get the frozen, icy roads. Okay, I'm looking at some of your comments. Hold on 1 second. All right, if you see snow outside your window right now, type 1. If you wish you saw snow out your window, type 3. If you wish it was sunny out and 70, type 4. Now, we're going to see where the true loyalty lies with you bots fans. Okay, let's get it. I'm not even sure what this is. Okay, let's move on from that graphic. Okay, here's the latest at Indiana side. Okay, so I haven't forgot about you guys. We got the batch of snow. This is the one that was really the heaviest right there when it came through Clark County. That batch is the one that's now in Jefferson into Simpsonville, the one that gave Huber's there. Nice little coating. This is a little more patchy, and that's the thing. The overall trends in the data for the next few hours is to taper this part down just a bit compared to what we've had this morning and move off to the south. There could be some redevelopment right here into Indiana to kind of keep the snow shower train going all the way through the afternoon. Yeah, I think that's fair. But as far as the wave that was able to really enhance and produce that coating of snow, there's a ripple going through on the low pressure right through here. Let me get rid of my markings. There's a ripple right here going through, and that's why it enhanced right along the Ohio River. But that's moving away from us. So once that moves away, the only thing left is just general snow showers. There's no trigger for them to keep enhancing, so you don't get as much heavier activity, or at least moderate snow showers. Right, so that's good. That's good. No problems other than visibility. That's the biggest issue that we'll have on the area roads. All right, so just be careful traveling even with that on the visibility side. All right, the alerts that are out. Hey, winter weather advisories did come out, and mainly because of the batch we've had this morning and the ones for tonight. It's a tough one because Weather Service has certain criteria they go with for an advisory, but impacts are a little odd here just because it's an early season snow. It's not a typical wintry setup. Again, the roads run in our favor, but can still cause visibility issues, and you can still get a little bit of slush here and there. So I can see why they did it, and it's the first one of the season. So the counties right now within wave country are Indiana counties: Jackson, Jennings, Jefferson, in Kentucky, Carroll, Trimble, Henry, Shelby, Franklin, and Oldham included in the advisory until tomorrow morning. It may get canceled early because temperatures actually are going to go back up again later on for tonight. All right, so that's the advisory that is out. Everyone good? Let me check in on you all, make sure you're all right. I didn't look at any of the numbers. All right, I see a lot of ones. I see a lot of fours. And I see a five. It's a fair point, Ellen. You wish you just had a window. Okay. I didn't think about that. All right, everyone looks good. Okay, so now let's talk about the amounts, all right? I hope everyone understands the scenario today. We've talked about this thing 20 times this week, right? So I don't think anything, what I'm saying is shocking here. I think everybody is aware that this is a minor event overall. It's just fun to talk about as a snow lover because it's always exciting. So I don't want that to be misconstrued that Armageddon's happening here today. All right, just want to make sure you understand that I'm just sharing what we know for snow lovers. Share your reports, what's next. And what's next is always important here on the blog, especially in longer term and especially at the holiday season. Okay, so let's get into Futurecast. I think it does a decent job on taking the current band and moves it to the south and east. Again, spotty snow showers for really the rest of the afternoon. I don't think the radar is going to go completely quiet. Even though the model says it will, I doubt it will. Usually in this scenario, snow showers do keep redeveloping. So I think that'll be the case. Overall, most of the thermometers are going to be above freezing. If you're at 32 right now, that is enough to get grassy accumulations. If you're at 32, it's not enough to cause frozen roads because the road temp, again, is in the 50s in some spots. So that's allowing for immediate melting process. So it's a bit odd here on looking at numbers versus the reality of what happens on the ground. People don't understand. Maybe you do, but most people don't understand the difference on that, on snow events, how much the ground temps play a big role versus the snowfall rate. Like, how can the snow be sticking at 36 degrees outside when we're not below freezing? And it's all about the rate. Okay, so we get to 2:30, 3 o'clock, still got some snow showers around. All right, here comes the main event of snow that's going to be dropping in out of Indiana. As that drops in, this is going to be roughly, now Futurecast has got this about 5 o'clock. Some of the modeling is a little later, some a little earlier. Doesn't really matter. All right, there's going to be about an hour or so buffer here. What I want you to understand is when we get into the 3 o'clock news today, we're going to be talking about Indianapolis a lot because that's where the snow will be developing and already on its way there, actually. That will be a big signal indicator for us of how things go with Indy. Is it causing accumulations at all? How much of a temperature drop did they see? Those kind of factors. We'll be monitoring that this evening. But it looks like it'll be moving south. Here we go at 6:30. Southern Indiana, it should be snowing pretty good. And again, you're getting just to that point, right around 32, 33, to allow for the grassy accumulation, mainly wet roads. Louisville, not quite to that point yet, but we do drop. I think we'll be a little lower than what's indicated here. I think Louisville is going to be about 33, 34. So I do think we'll get some accumulations even in the metro on grassy areas, but very, very minor compared to, say, what Oldham County will have, or even Harrison County or Paoli or even Salem. It's going to be a very weird looking snow map. I'll show you in a second on how this will play out tonight. But here's what's weird is we've been talking about it's colder aloft during the daytime period today, but the temperatures aloft get warmer by midnight. And therefore, you don't see as much blue now. Everything goes to the pink and back to the green, indicating it will end as rain, or at least drizzle. So even if you were to get some grassy accumulations, as soon as that drizzle starts, boop, there it goes, the snow. It is gone, all the memory of it. So I hope you're ready for your photos this evening because it will melt fast. And the wind is going to be quite strong when this happens too, by the way. When we get that little warm infusion into the system at around 11 o'clock tonight, that is when the wind will jump up to around 40 miles per hour, and it'll stay up for a while. And we'll keep temperatures generally above freezing, but we could get maybe some more rain showers, could mix in a few snowflakes tomorrow. More on that in just a second. All right, here's the snowfall accumulation map. Again, we are looking at the potential for 1.5 inches, maybe 1.75 inches. We'll just say safely 1 to 2 because that's our range. We don't have a 1.2 range here on our legend, right? So we just got to put it into a category because we do think some spots can exceed over the 1.0 mark. So we have to put it into 1 to 2. Could there be isolated higher? It's possible, but it's going to be so isolated, I can't draw it. It's just not a widespread amount, so it's not worth drawing and stressing anybody out over. I do think it's going to get a little wonky across Orange County, Washington County, parts of the knobs. It may have a bit of a jog here of the 1 inch mark in southern Indiana, and I think the same may actually happen across central Kentucky as well. But right now, southern Harrison County to Meade and to right E-Town, I think you may get infused with that warm air too quickly into the evening, and that is likely going to cut down on anything on snow for you, unfortunately. Sorry. Versus Indiana. And even if you get too far east, by the way, this part here may have to go back west, to be honest with you. There is a chance that even central Ohio may get shafted on this one to where the main snow band, as it drops into the Ohio River Valley tonight, may end up being right across wave country. So we'll see. Not a big snow, not a big one, right? But hey, every little bit matters. And when you look at the ensembles from the Euro, you guys know what I always say about this. Look at the different members, but notice it filling in. That's important. Then look at the color. All right, it's nearly filled in. There's 2 ensemble members out of 50 that give Louisville at least something that will stick on the ground either today or tonight. So now that we have the confidence being high, we look at the numbers. The numbers are low. They're all basically under 1 inch, even in many cases under 1/2 inch. So this data does very well. It helps and on the chaos of snow maps and snow totals and models. It's just easier to just explain it this way, and I hope it's easier for you all to understand too. Let me know if it's not, but I think it makes sense that if you have all the data pointing in one direction, then you can listen to what the data is saying, and that makes it a lot easier to do a forecast. In contrast, you can see how noisy it is as we head into the end of November and December, but they're not exactly filled in all the way, and they're all over the place and blotchy because they can't agree. Here's the time is along the bottom. They can't agree on when, so it's kind of all over the place. And at the same time, the colors are a mix of gray and some blues, though. Hey, we got some blues, so that's going to be interesting, but we can't pay attention to that yet. We got to wait until we get a little more of a solid column that forms, and then when confidence starts to grow, then we'll pay attention to what the numbers have for that event. That's the easiest way to handle this. All right. So again, the snow today, it hasn't moved. It's still going to stay a 1, and it's barely even on there for that one. All right. Everyone type 3 for good. Type 3 for good on the snow setup. Anything I haven't asked or answered that I can try to. Thank you, Twan. I appreciate that. I get a little wild with my drawing. Pavement temp drop. No, pavement temp drop will happen, but only for elevated roadways, Adam. So anything that doesn't have dirt will have the ability to drop. But the ground temps are warm enough that it'll prevent the pavement from ever getting to that point tonight. All right, so that's why we're not worried about icy. Okay, let's see. Everyone's got threes. A lot of threes. All right, everyone's good. I hope you're enjoying this. I mean, this is the easiest for me to do on snowfall because I don't, we're not causing a lot of problems out there, right? And it's festive flakes. We got an accumulation map, and we have a winter weather advisory. Hey, this is nice. Now, I know snow lovers, they want a blizzard warning or winter storm warning with snow blowing sideways. I get it. This is not that kind of event. This is a teaser. This is a test run. We like that. Okay, let's get into the setup for Thanksgiving week. It will begin with a wave that'll move in on Monday. Now, the only thing I want to mention on this, it's very fast, doesn't have a lot of time to scoop up moisture here, but there is a small thunderstorm signal with this that we'll have to watch just because of timing of day. We do jump into the 60s, so it is going to get warm on Monday, and there could be a narrow line of thunderstorms. So watch it Monday. Right now, I don't think it's anything to get too worked up about or concerned with, but we're watching it. But it is such a key player on how the rest of the week plays out, because once this wave moves on by, we've got to figure out how much of a dip behind the front will there be for this next system that rolls in for the travel day and Thanksgiving. If the dip is not minor, or it is minor, very much a modest drop in temperature, this system has got full rain. It's moving in. Get ready for a wet Thanksgiving. If the system on Monday is more dramatic with the drop of cold air behind it, this system here for Thanksgiving will get slowed down and will likely miss the holiday. Yesterday, we had a lot of data that was for a slower idea, and therefore the system would miss Thanksgiving. That was the trend yesterday. I want to talk to you all. Well, since then, everything has reversed. And now it's full on. The system is rolling in for the travel day and Thanksgiving. All right, so that is not the news we wanted to hear. It does look like it's going to be kind of a messy Thanksgiving. But here's the problem, as you can tell. There's the rain snow line. Ooh, awful close to us. Now, the Euro likes the track being right across Kentucky. And that is not really a Goldilocks spot, but it is avoiding a lot of the weather drama in terms of your snow, any freezing rain or anything like that is going to be north, and your severe weather will be on the southern part. And then we fit basically right along the path of the low, and we just deal with a cold, heavy rain. That's what the Euro is indicating right now. Some of the modeling, obviously, as I'll show you in a second, wants to go a little more south with the low, and then it takes that wintry zone and puts it a little more in our area. And there are some that try to move it just a tad more north to bring the thunderstorm potential in. So there's still a lot of question marks here for Thanksgiving, and I'll show you the ensembles in just a second, I promise. But I do have fairly high confidence in whatever happens here on Thanksgiving, it will likely go to snow at the very end for Black Friday. So it looks minor, but I do think we'll have some wintry weather, some snow showers, very similar to today. And would that be nice to head out and do some shopping while you get flakes flying around like today? I think it'd be perfect, but maybe I'm biased. Okay, that leads then to the next wave, which you can already see hints of is going to be rolling down. And this is when the true blast of Arctic air is really showing up. And this is really, I'm talking about sub-zero stuff here, really wants to dive in early December. And that is really going to make the storm track just go wild, because there's still plenty of warmth here in the southern United States. You bring in that much Arctic air, you are going to get a true battle that is going to happen in the plains and the Ohio Valley, not only for early December, but perhaps all the way through December. That may repeat itself several times. This showed up. We talked about this on the winter forecast. A lot of similarities this year to December 2010. That year in December, we got snow on the ground that we had like a 2.6, a 1.4, like little minor snows, advisory level snows, but there were several of them, and it kept snow on the ground all the way through Christmas. So we'll see, but there is a growing trend that December, as I said earlier, will be a December to remember. We'll see if it plays out. All right, here are the ensembles for Thanksgiving from the GFS. All right, this one way south. This one right over us, a little bit slower. This one's a little bit slow. This one is really slow, doesn't have anything. This one's a little bit slow. This one's got the southern track snow on us. Misses us. This one looks like it's going to be leaning toward heavy rain. A little fast, right over us with rain, maybe thunder. Just rain, nothing, rain or snow, rain, nothing. Snow at the end. Oh, that's a big back drawing. Sorry about that. My wand gets a little crazy. There's really not one that indicates just a massive problem. I think this one's probably the only member that has the most ominous wintry look for us. The rest of them mainly indicate a cold rain. So that's the trend I'm thinking right now that we will likely do with the travel day and Thanksgiving is likely a cold rain and then as a bit of snow toward Thanksgiving night or Black Friday. Well, that seems fair based on the data we're looking at here. And if we see a trend on that track, then we'll let you know. But I think until we get past that little wave on Monday, with that small thunder chance. Until we get past that, I think we're going to be having a track that's going to keep varying. And it's going to stay active for a while because this is the Arctic oscillation indicating it's going to stay negative. You see the bump up. This is early next week. This is where we get the thunder. And then it drops back below negative again into December, allowing for plenty of cold air to be on the move into Canada and for it to be grabbed in our area. You can see that polar vortex. Yeah, it stretches. You get that bright or a light blue that goes from basically Asia, Russia area, all the way over the North Pole and right into the lower 48. We call that a cross polar flow, and that's what's allowing for these cold Arctic attacks, especially for the northern plains and Great Lakes, just to keep hitting. Okay, let's get into the 10-day. I'll try to get some of your questions, and I got to run because I'm running so far behind today. Is usually the case. Anyway, okay, let's see. Hi, Angie. Is the front on Monday going to go into Tuesday? It's more like a late Monday, Tuesday morning. Pretty good agreement on that. I don't think it's going to be huge on that one. Let's see. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, Susan. Strong wind there in Hardinsburg. Yeah, I mean, 30 to 35. Could get up to 40 tonight, so it is going to be quite windy and cold. No one called this on the team on the winter forecast. The earliest is December 9th. And that's Ryan Hoke. So Ryan may win this year. We'll see. The rest of us are basically Christmas, and I think Carson is January. So we'll see. Well, we're focused on December there for a while, so we'll see if it holds true or not. Okay. All right, guys. I got to run. I just want to at least give you guys a brief update. Please do not forget, if you have video of the snow pictures, shoot the video sideways, upload it on the Wave Weather app. Easy to do. When you get into the app, just load it up, scroll to submit my photos. And when you go down to the bottom of that, submit your photos, excuse me. When you get to the submit your photos, then you have the option to fill out the form. Again, upload your video. Video is great. We love video, but just remember to shoot it sideways and add it into the weather file there. And that is the easiest way for us to get it immediately into our systems. And you may see it on our newscast today or even the next several days ahead here. So, and sometimes your video could get chosen as our snow background of other snow events that could come our way. So it's always nice to get the ground truth from you all. So I appreciate your reports. For you guys, I'm deputizing all of you as junior meteorologists today. You can't change the 10-day, but I'll let your reports know. Is that fair? All right. Enjoy the snow, guys. I'll be back on the air in 30 minutes from now. All right. Take care.